walk as the board gets owned. Welcome to Dad's Drafts, your new homegrown.
Hello everybody and welcome to Dad's Drafts. Now today something completely different, not a draft video, not even sealed, not some kind of guide on the best commons and uncommons. No, I want to talk to you about the pizza party draft story. Now this is a story that I came up with simply to show you what is going on with a 4-person draft. And I find myself in a situation where I think the 4-person drafts are way less satisfying than the regular drafts. And I want to show you why that is, in my opinion. And I want to do it with this pizza story. Now, imagine this. You're sitting at a table with 4 friends, or at least 3 friends and you're a group of 4. Each of you has to pick a pizza base first. It's a pizza party, you know? And maybe you would like a thin crust, maybe you would like a deep dish or stuffed crust or whatever. You quickly choose the base you like best. And this is like your first pick in the draft, you know. It's going to be the foundation for your plans up ahead. Now, at some point you have to pick the sauce. It's time to do it, and you notice that the sauce that would perfectly match your base and your plan is almost gone. Now, you have a choice. Do you take a sauce that's only mediocre for your base, or do you change the base? And this is where you start to feel the pressure. Now, in normal 8-player drafts, there's usually more flexibility. Even if one player takes the sauce you wanted, there are more remaining options in the pool, and you have time to adjust your strategy without just drastically changing your plan. Now, the contrast is clear, I hope. Small drafts force rushed compromises, while normal drafts allow for careful strategic adaptation. Now, this is especially the case because the safest pick to do would be to pick 2, since you're picking 2 cards, to pick 2 of the same color. Now, imagine you and your friend both open pretty decent or good black cards, and you both take 2 black cards out of the pack. Now, the person who's passing to you passes a pack to you which has almost no black cards in it. So you think, okay, black is not open. But the person you pass to draws the same conclusion because you also took 2 black cards. Now, the person one further who took, for instance, 2 red cards will be at an advantage. Simply because no other people, everybody will stop taking black cards, which is like, imagine you're doing an 8-player draft, and everybody at that moment, or half of the 8-party people, decides after the first 1 or 2 picks to stop taking black. And this has a huge impact on which colors are open. So with a 4-person draft, if you are the first person on the wheel and 2 people next to you, well, pick one of the same color, it's a great advantage to you, especially compared to 8 people. Now, at some point, it's of course, once you've done your sauce thing, it's time to add the toppings. Now, at first it looks like you have freedom. I mean, no one is taking the serrano ham, and this seems like a safe pick, but quickly, the other toppings people want are disappearing. To keep your pizza full, you just start piling on the ham, even though it's not as balanced or creative as you had hoped. Now, in a normal draft, more players and more cards in circulation mean that signals are clearer. And, you know, if no one is taking the serrano ham, you can trust that that ham will keep coming back to you. And you can build a varied, creative pizza around it. But in a 4-man draft, the smaller pool means that signals are weaker, and soon you're forced to overload on ham just to keep going and to get your pizza full. Now, at some point you will have a finished pizza, and I'm sorry if all these pictures will make you hungry. By the time everybody has finished their pizza, you look at your pizza and it looks like a pizza is full, but it's not very balanced. Some pizzas are colorful and balanced, while others are dominated by one topping. Now, in a normal draft with 8 people, because there are more packs and more players, decks or pizzas end up way more varied and better balanced. Now, the larger pool allows players to refine the strategy and adapt as they go. In the 4-man version, 4-man draft, you just don't get enough ingredients to balance everything, and the end result often feels forced and less satisfying. Now, I think you got the connection, of course, with the pizza and Magic the Gathering, but let me explain to you it like this. In Magic the Gathering, each step of making this pizza represents a draft pick. The base is like the first color choice or roll, the sauce is an early synergy card, and the toppings are supporting cards you select. Now, with fewer players and fewer cards in the pool, you're often forced into compromises, piling on whatever is left rather than choosing what truly fits your plan. You're less in control of creating the deck you want, but more forced into the deck you should play. And this is a huge difference. In a normal draft, the larger card pool means there's room to stay flexible. You can commit to a strategy, you can pivot if needed, and still end up with a synergistic deck. Now, that flexibility and strategy are what makes drafting so rewarding. Now, the real problem with the small drafts, when doing it with 4 people, in a full draft, you compete for colors, notice what other people are picking, and adapt your strategy through multiple phases. Even able to pick your second color as late as 40% into the draft. Now, that is the heart of drafting. Reading the table, watching signals, making smart adjustments. But in a 4-man draft, most of the interaction is pretty much gone. Early picks dominate the outcome, popular colors rolls get locked in too fast, and signaling is almost meaningless. Now, at our pizza party, it's like trying to figure out what toppings your friends are going for, but before you can react, everything is gone. In contrast, a normal draft gives you time and information to read the room and to plan accordingly. So, what about the takeaways? No, not this kind of takeaways, but while the drafts are faster with 4 people and maybe easier to get into, they sacrifice the thing that make drafting fun and skillful. These points are especially the ones that, kind of get lost. Strategic depth, there's fewer options, means less room to plan. Reading the signals, I already mentioned it, is pretty much nearly gone. It's almost absent here. Your creativity, you end up overloaded on one ingredient instead of building something unique. And replayability, small drafts feel like they're often the same, while normal drafts always play out differently. Now, back at the pizza party, you end up with a full pizza, but it's less balanced. It's less interesting and less fun. And in Magic, the same is true. With 4 players, you lose the real joy of drafting. The competition for colors, the reading the signals, the creative freedom to shape your own deck. Now, I do applaud Wizards for trying out something new to get new folk and especially new money spenders to the game. But I think for the veteran players who like to see the drafting as a challenge, it's not a great development. If I were to conclude everything into one sentence, I would say it like this. In a 4-man draft, the soul of drafting is lost. Because with fewer cards and fewer players, there's little room to compete for colors, read signals, or creatively shape your deck. Now, I hope that you found this information useful in any way. If you like what I did, feel free to click some buttons or give me a response. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Feel free to let me know. In any case, I wish you the best. Peace.
Grab the card, shuffle dreams in the palms. Dad's drafts roll heavy, we bombing like psalms. Stacks on the table, strategies to flex. Running these lines like counterspell checks. Dad drafts in the zone, pulling rares from the throne. Mana on the stack, magic seeds we've sown. From poppers to planeswalkers, the board gets owned. Welcome to Dad's drafts, your new homegrown. Welcome to Dad's drafts, your new homegrown.